What is this? Wait, this is actually really cool. Kind of reminds me of the thing from Attack on Titan, the organism of everything, of all living things, action figure.
Can y'all let me get 5 kills in a row?
I mean, you'll be able to do it. It's hardcore shipment. Oh, that sucks. He's on the other team. Poor guy. All right, what's going on, guys? It's Jeff. We're here back over on some more Call of Duty. So I haven't made that much progress since the last Call of Duty video that I did. Yesterday, I did that Sekiro video. Ended up beating the Owl Father. This lobby is so sweaty. I get on after a couple days and it's this sweaty. Holy shit, man. I'm just gonna sit here and hard camp my own turret. Don't sweat on me on my first game or I'm just gonna play like a dickhead. I wanted to sit here and have a nice calm game, but instead it's just the sweatiest shipment lobby I've ever played in, man. Come on, man. Well, at least I finished this. Finally don't have to use this shotgun anymore. I gotta use a different one now. No, nothing to say. All right, that shotgun's done. Time to work on a different shotgun now. So, all right, Haymaker next. Now, what do we do with the Haymaker on shipment? Let's go with a 20-round drum, of course. Gonna go with no stop for a little bit of mobility. We want to get as much range as possible. But I also want to use a suppressor, so I'm gonna use this, hurt my range a little bit, and I've gotten a little progress with the gold already. So anyway, recently we got a little bit more info and some rumors that were circulating. First of all, Charlie Intel says Call of Duty 2024 is Black Ops 6. It is not Black Ops VI. It is not Black Ops V. It is not Black Ops 5. Not Black Ops Gulf War. It is Black Ops 6. No Roman numerals, no nothing, just Black Ops 6. There's that, and then also, apparently Shinobi 602. Charlie Intel says, Microsoft intends to reportedly add new tiers and changes to Xbox Game Pass to accommodate adding Call of Duty on the service. Says, there will be changes, yes, when somebody asks if there was anything gonna be, you know, different with all of it. Charlie Intel tweeted about 24 hours ago, would you switch to Xbox to play Call of Duty day one on Game Pass? So if you don't know, Game Pass is basically a thing that you get on Xbox. When you pay the subscription, you get access to this entire library that they either own or have the rights to be able to put it on Game Pass, whatever, some sort of agreement. And this was something that a lot of people were theorizing when Call of Duty initially got bought. We were thinking it's going to be on Game Pass, and then we had that whole thing go on where everybody started going back, playing their old Xboxes or even getting new Xboxes to go back and play the old servers for the old Call of Duty. And then we were quickly reminded as to how and why those servers died in the first place because of the ridiculous and ease of access to hacks and all sorts of wild shit that like is kind of scary security-wise, ratting and all this other stuff that happened on the PC versions of the game and all this other stuff. It's a really long story. There's some good videos out there actually explaining, you know, the whole thing, but one of the main things that people were saying and they were excited about whenever this acquisition happened was that, oh, Call of Duty, all of the old Call of Duties could be put on the Game Pass and they would end up having a jump in players. The issue is that, like, those games are still not fixed. They still have issues. You can still get infection mods / hacks and stuff like that. Literally all you would have to do is go into theater mode on certain ones, like MW3 or Black Ops 1. You can go into theater mode and then get your own hacks / infection mod, which will infect the rest of the lobbies that you end up joining if you end up getting host. If you have a good connection and you end up joining one of those infection lobbies, you are now infected, and if you go and get host for another lobby with other people, like 11 other people that have no infections and you're host, you now infect all of those other 11 people, or even in ground where the other 17 other people. Now, a good amount of people are saying that they're not going to switch or anything to Xbox in order to just play the game on Game Pass, and I was mentioning this earlier that it's starting to get to the point to where, like, you don't really own any of the games. Like, they would end up having the rights to all these games, and then you would be forced to pay a subscription in order to play the game. I'm not deep on that whole opinion. It's just like that's where my mind is with the whole thing, where it could definitely be heading to. Not trying to fear monger entirely, but it definitely feels like it's going in the direction of like you not really owning any of this stuff, and it's just all tied to this subscription that you'll end up paying for years upon years upon years. Whereas before you could have just bought the game for $60, $70, whatever. Still a high price, but then that would just be it. Well, along with like your Xbox subscription or PlayStation or whatever. Now it's turning into this thing where you got your subscription for the live service, and then you got the subscription for the Game Pass, and then you have the other subscription for all your television television and cable and all of this other stuff. So yeah, everything is becoming completely subscription based, and it's basically going to force you to pay forever. New rumor claims that next Xbox could launch in 2026. This is interesting also because Xbox has basically conceded to Sony, and I'm not big on the console wars. I'm playing on PC. I played both on PlayStation and Xbox previously, and basically the only reason I switched between consoles, I had them both the entire time anyway. I had an Xbox 360. I never had a PS3 though, but I would basically play and get the console where Call of Duty would get the first access to, and where most people would be playing it. And even in the community, I mean, back in the montage days anyway, usually most of the teams were on Xbox. If you were playing on PlayStation, you would have to be extraordinarily good, because a lot of people would be under the assumption that if you're playing on PlayStation, since it has less players on it, you're also playing against weaker players that aren't all sweating to go and play Call of Duty on that console. Unlike Xbox, where people like myself were literally buying the console to play it and get access as quickly as possible and go and join all these teams and all this other stuff. So I had 360. I did have PS4 though, because when Call of Duty switched over with their PlayStation deal instead of the Xbox deal, I started playing on PlayStation. So I have no horse in this race. I don't give a shit. But it says that the next Xbox could launch in 2026 along with Infinity Ward's Call of Duty title as a launch title. From the Ghost to Hope. So we got the Game Pass stuff coming along with the fact that that could be a launch title or whatever. But to be fair, I mean, it just all really depended on whenever, you know, that console would end up releasing. I don't think it's necessarily super special that it's a launch title for a console or whatever. I feel like that's decently common. We know Call of Duty comes in every single year, and we know eventually we end up getting a new console once every, I don't know, 6 to 10 years or whatever. Xbox also likely wants to go and try to produce a new console and hopefully shake things up in their favor. If you guys are gonna have TDM in a small playlist, you should definitely increase the TDM amount to like 200 kills at least. Shit sucks. As amazing as it would be to think that somehow all of the old games will get revived with this Game Pass thing and everything, it's very, very wishful thinking. They would have to basically like disable all of the theater mode stuff, but then also still have to deal with like the modded Xboxes and other things like that. I don't know. It would be nice to think that they could somehow re-release all these and they have like a new injection of players in there, people that have never played this stuff before. But the truth is, the most popular Call of Duty will always be the most recent Call of Duty. Warzone is just Warzone. It just goes. Battle Royales are absolutely capable of dying, but Warzone has been doing well. It was not going very well though under MW2, so... Oh, also, I ended up seeing this announcement. It was like a day and a half or so ago. They ended up announcing the Jason universe, where basically they're going to be creating a whole bunch of new Friday the 13th content. I don't know what happened with the rights. I don't know the details of this stuff, but apparently they're going to be producing a whole mess of shit. It could be movies, TV shows, collaborations. It's a shame that Friday the 13th, the game, is shutting down still, but dude, just give Gun the rights back to that shit so they can drop Texas and just go back to Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th was designed in a way that's just far superior to Texas Chainsaw. The issue with Texas Chainsaw is that it was designed too thoughtfully. It was designed in a way like it's Dead by Daylight, like it's supposed to be perfectly balanced or some shit. Texas Chainsaw doesn't actually feel like a party game. Now, don't get me wrong, it definitely does some stuff right, and it's definitely fun. It's not even close to nearly as fun as Friday the 13th was. It has nothing to do with Gun being able to go and make a good game or anything either. I think they're great developers. I just think that they had the wrong idea with Texas. They tried something different, you know, it goes like that. Go and put Platinum on. All right, next one. The Jason universe has been launched, described as an initiative to release more Friday the 13th entertainment, games, immersive experiences, and merchandise. More games, yet proceeds to shut down Friday the 13th, the game. Literally, the entire bottom of this whole thing, like, everyone is just saying, dude, what happened to Friday the 13th, the game then? Don't shut this shit down. Bring it back. Put Gun back on this shit. I know that that's pretty much impossible because they got a bunch of people investing into Texas or whatever, but I mean, if you go and look over at Texas, the investment isn't really worth it. You guys should probably go back. I'm just saying. I know that that might be frustrating to hear for sure, especially as a developer when you spend years working on something. And they probably lost people that also helped work on this whole thing, so it's probably not possible for them to go back to Friday the 13th, but it's a fucking shame because this is like one of the best things they produced, especially during that really, really bad time where Friday the 13th was getting nothing. Where it's technically still in those times, but those times are changing because Multiverse's Susie right here, they're a well-known leaker in the Multiverse's community. Apparently, Jason Voorhees himself, they misspelled the last name. Jason Voorhees himself is the next character for Multiverses. No joke. Apparently on Monday. So they already revealed the Joker over on Multiverses. If you haven't seen any of that, definitely go and check out Multiverses' just Twitter or whatever. But they already introduced the Joker as a day one launch character. They also introduced Banana Guard, who's more of like a joke character, but he's very serious. He's gonna be a real character. Even he himself like realizes realizes he's a joke. He's like, are you guys serious? I'm actually a character in the game. It's good marketing, but also Jason Voorhees himself is going to be a character in Multiverses. I already got my main. I don't care if I hate how he plays, I'm playing it, period. I played him a little bit in Mortal Kombat X. Definitely still preferred, you know, like Ermac and stuff back then, but Aaron Black as well. But we have Jason Voorhees coming to Multiverses. I know that sounds crazy, but yes, there's still more characters coming in season 1. These are just launch characters in what we have so far. Powerpuff Girls is also one of the post-launch characters, because we know that Powerpuff Girls was seen in like the one trailer that they had. Also, this Papa Genos guy, it's all but confirmed that Jason Voorhees is in there as well. It's not just rumors. Tony himself was also referencing and saying things like, I'm a big fan of hockey. This was like a month ago. He says, I'm becoming a big fan of hockey, referencing this hockey mask. And then also, obviously, Genos here is just data mining, looking over at code and other things like that. And there's multiple references to Jason Voorhees himself. So that's super exciting. I know who I'm playing day one. I know that I was a Bugs Bunny guy. They ended up nerfing him. Again, I really don't care about the tier list overall on Multiverses. I don't take it too seriously, but I'm definitely looking forward to playing it. Shit, I might even make a one-off video on Jason, period, on Multiverses. I feel like this is gonna be a massive deal. This is gonna be huge. Not only for Multiverses, but just the Friday the 13th franchise fans in general. And also, X-Defiant is coming out in 3 days. We're stacked. One issue, though, with the release of Multiverses is that also comes out on the same day as Hellblade 2, and I wanted to make at least a one-off video on Hellblade 2 as well. Kind of similar to how I did with Ghost of Tsushima. I really enjoy doing those one-off videos. Like, my God of War one-off video that I did was one of my favorite videos I ever made. Santa Monica Studios actually ended up replying and quote tweeting and like clipping my video and stuff with my commentary and play-by-play fight commentary. Kratos just whooping the dude's ass. But yeah, this Call of Duty stuff could definitely be a big deal. X-Defiant soon. We got the Multiverses stuff soon. We're eating good.